Let's start crawling through some dungeons in Lairs. This is on Kickstarter now. You've got a couple more days. I know I'm a little late to it, but I'm really excited about this, and there's going to be late pledges, so don't worry if you don't make it in the next couple of days. Lairs is a game for 2 players primarily. However, there is also an extension that gives you a bigger board and allows you to do a multiplayer, which is really cool and what I'm really excited to try out. However, what I got here is only just the 2-player. And of course, this is a Kickstarter prototype, so all of this is subject to change. Let's get into this. We have got some beautifully designed treasures, an awesome 3D board with these cute little walls that we're going to build out. And so the point of the game here is to build out your own little lair here. And then the other opponent is going to traverse themselves through the layer. So they're going to be marked on your board here. So I'm going to have a starting space, and they're going to start there. And their goal is to find the exit, as well as go around and collect some treasure, and hopefully avoid some monsters and some traps that you're going to lay out for them. There's this little bit of a solo puzzle aspect that's going on in building out your layer here. When you're doing this, you have to make sure that you don't have any spots that are completely blocked off. So each one of the squares needs to be available to get into. So that's not allowed, but I could do something like this. And let's destroy the exit up here. Then the other rule is that the shortest route between any of the goals, which is a start from the start to the exit or to any one of the treasures, can't have more than 2 traps or more than 2 monsters. So this is the shortest route. If I did something like this, this will be the shortest route to this treasure. It has 1 monster and 1 trap, and that's perfectly allowed. And then look, I'm going to throw them into a dead end. Now, if I keep with this and I go with my walls for my exit here, now you have to use all of these pieces except for up to 3 of the wall pieces you can leave out. So now I have an exit here. Between here and here, I can put another trap and I can put another monster. Now, let's say I put the monster here though, and I put a monster here. The shortest route from here to here is 1 trap, 1 monster. The shortest route from here to here is 1 trap and 1 monster, and that's perfectly fine. However, if what they did, because this is an open room, is decided to go to B2 and then to here and then to here and then to here, and they hit 2 monsters before they get to the treasure or the exit, that's completely fine. They've just been inefficient. Really like this building part here. Now, this is going to be very kind of like solo aspect because this does take a little bit of practice to get into what you're allowed to make and what you're not allowed to make. I find it easiest if you just kind of design what you really want to do here and then just trace your paths here. So now because this monster is here, they already have gone through a trap and a monster. So technically between here and here, I can't have another trap or monster. And between here and all the way over to here and all the way over here, I can't have another trap monster. So this trap has to come and move down over here. Now our layer is ready for our player to traverse. We each also have this sheet that represents the other player's layer, and they're going to tell us where they start. On your turn, you're going to tell the person about the surroundings in the rooms. I say, they're going to tell me I'm going to start in C3, and there is a wall to the west and a wall to the south. And so then I'm going to draw a wall to the west and draw a wall to the south. I like this little drawing aspect of what's going on here. And then I'm going to decide to spend action cubes. This is an action point selection mechanism here. And so I've got these regular action cubes. So I can do 1 for a creep, or I could do 2 for any kind of extra special. And those are all listed on the inside of your player shield here, because obviously you don't want the other player to see your layer layout. What's cool here is you might be interesting, this is a little bit shiny right now. This might change on how this happens, but the game is extendable. And that I find to be really cool. And it's extendable in a way that is non-destructive. So all of this can come back off. You can reset the game. And so throughout the game, what we know so far in the Kickstarter is there's going to be more traps, more monsters. And we can clearly see from here, there might be more mechanics of how to use your cubes. So that is really cool and interesting. And there's this little exploration aspect that you're going to get out of it, which is really fun. The starting monsters themselves are the Hungry Blob, who has a health of 6, and the starting trap is the Grease Pit that has a starting health of 5. And so you've got to roll to beat that in order to get rid of these off of the board. Once you've managed to actually secure a treasure, cool aspect here is some set collection and synergies going on. So you're going to get 1 treasure that is private. So this one is a statue. And it says +1 for each other statue I have and +2 for any chalices that I have. So there happens to be a chalice out here. So now I've picked a private treasure. Now I'm going to pick a public treasure. My opponent is going to know what that is, but they're not going to know what this one is. But now I have 2 treasures that work together for each other, so that I now have 3 points for this card at the end of the game and 2 points for this card. This one says if I have exactly 3 chalices, plus 2 if I have another diamond. So we now have the next one in here. These do not help me as well, except for this is a diamond here. So I'm going to want to try and get this later for another treasure. Throughout the game, you're going to have the chance to collect 6 cards of treasure. At the end of the game, you're going to have to pick the 4 that you're going to score for their face up value, and then the other 2 are going to score face down just for 1 point each. You can record those on the sheet right in the top corner here. Overall, I'm really excited to see the final product here. KTPG is really awesome with their games. The artwork is amazing. These components look really great. I've already started looking at ways that I can 3D upgrade this. So I have already printed some 3D traps, and I have printed some stairs to represent the entrance and the exit. When the game releases, I will also release a set of upgrade components that you could 3D print for your game. As a part of the upgrades on the Kickstarter, you can get laminated sheets, and these sheets will be double-sided so that you can play the 2-player board or the multiplayer board on the back. And that is Lairs. I'm really excited for this. I'm going to return this to KTPG at PAX. You can come play a demo of it at PAX as well. Highly suggest you do it because you're going to get hooked once you play this, just like I was. So make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll tune in to you next time. Wait, no, you're going to tune in to me next time. Bye.